Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Grounds with Giles and Jones. I'm Giles, and Jones is hiding over there. He'll be coming over here shortly. Welcome to the most unique show on the internet where you can, the listener, join us live on screen if you want. We're going to post up a URL there from Uncle Pete. If you just click on that and follow the directions and come on in, join us, talk to two old crazy dudes, right? And
that's it.
Wow, all the fun stuff that we're doing. Is that me or you? My mic's on.
You're swallowing it, I think, today. I don't know.
All right, how's that? Is that better? Getting some feedback there. Right.
So Uncle Pete's got that up there, StreamYard.com. Throw that in your URL. Come right in. Today we're talking about dealing with the know-it-all last word getter. You know him. You might even sit next to him on a radio show. I don't know. Listen, shout out to our good friends at Natural Therapy Wellness Center. If you are stressed, they'll help you be blessed. Check them out at www.mchenrymassage.com, 815-385-8190. And if you need some flowers, $5 Flower Friday, get a bouquet of flowers for $5 from our good friends over at JH Events and Flowers.
Say that 5 times fast. Holy cow, your tongue tied.
Yeah. Also, I want to give a shout out to my guy over there, Thomas Guard LLC. Thomas Guard, we had some issues with our computer. Thomas Guard, worry-free IT protection at a fixed monthly rate. Give them a call at 847-557-0590. Thomas Guard is Thomas Gottfried. Great guy. Great stuff, Tom.
Thank you for getting us up. Now this week you guys can actually post comments and we can see them instead of flying dark, right?
All right. Behind us, you're going to see I'm hands-free today. We've got our good friend Kelsey running the board back there. We're teaching her how to do some producing. Kelsey, when you hear her voice, you'll know she is the host of Big Mouth, Bigger Body, right here at 21.6.
Hello, everybody. It's Kelsey from Big Body, Bigger Mouth. I'm happy to be producing today.
That is it.
And we're happy to have you in today.
So you can hide Uncle Pete there. He's been up long enough. If people want it, they got it. Okay, so we wanted to talk about, let's jump into this. We wanted to talk about how to deal with the quote unquote know-it-all guy, the person who doesn't matter what you're doing, knows better. Doesn't matter what age, right? They could be 20, they could be 50, they could be 100, but always know better and has maybe a one-upper, you might say, but always has to get the last word.
Yeah, right? we know quite a few of those. I mean, you brought that up to me last week when we started talking about it, and I kind of giggled because you said, what was it? We were talking about, well, what do you do with that? You said, well, I don't think a throat punch is appropriate.
That's right.
You didn't get the last word yet. I'm going to punch him right in the throat.
That's right. So listen, they're everywhere, and that is one of my, that attitude in somebody is one that just, that's what I want to do is I want to throat punch people when that happens. Lisa, good morning. Yeah, throw her up there. Give her a little love.
Hey, good morning, Lisa. How are you?
Good morning.
Good for chiming in. This is going to be a good one for you today.
So we, we all deal with them. Maybe at certain situations or at parties or functions or something of that nature, right? Don, good morning. He says, I don't do that now. There is nothing left to be sold. Good.
Said.
Oh, said.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah.
Good morning.
That is true.
Yeah.
Good morning. That's my wife, Deidre. Good morning. Good morning. Why she's Leo Kincaid.
That's it. Our good friend Lisa says, "Yeah, I no longer have to have the last word. I just wait until I get to say, I told you so."
I'm getting to that point, right?
So
hopefully it's an "I told you so."
Listen, and here we all run into those people, right? Scott, when I brought this up, you're like, "Well, are you talking about me?"
Well, I know partially you are, because that is me, but the reasoning behind why people, right? The reasoning behind people why they have to have the last word is interesting.
If you deal with a person on a daily basis, that's this way in your work, in family life,
Right,
whatever.
yeah.
How do you deal with those people? What do you do?
Well, so for me, I mean, I kind of get lumped into that category, right? Because my communication style, I feel like what I want to say and what actually comes out of my mouth a lot of times is not being perceived properly. And after someone will make a comment, will be like, oh, wait, and I'll have to put this in for clarification to make sure they're understanding. So, I mean, I know I see that in myself, but when I have people like that, and they're the one-uppers and you just can't get on them, I kind of like what Lisa said, I just let it go, or try to let it go. It depends on the subject and the person. I mean, it's obviously
Leo says he told me today's topic, and I just grinned from ear to ear.
She did. She did. And she's like, oh, Kent's gonna have fun with you today. And I'm like, hey, we have fun with each other every day.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're the one that brought it up. So give me how you dealt with it, or how you deal with it.
Here's what Kent does. Believe it or not, I'll poke the bear as often and as hard as I can. And then to me, it becomes kind of a game, right? Because it's like, it's amazing that nobody died building the Sears Tower. Well, actually, 17 people died, and because the tensile strength of the metal that they were, and you're just like, shut up, right? I'll try to push them where I'm giggling, like, now you're just an idiot because you think so, right? What does Lisa say there? Kelsey, can you read that for me? You're beautiful.
Yes, she says, psychologically, what do you do? If you give a crap about them and actually want them to see what they are doing, just stand and nod and say nothing. Eventually, they'll actually hear themselves.
I don't think so. I think most of these people are pretty narcissistic, right?
The definitely people that have it definitely have narcissistic tendencies. I mean, that's one of the reasons behind it, because they know best, right? And only know.
I know people like this that have no clue that they do this. I mean, it's a dude and a woman could be like, well, I gave birth to quadruplets. I mean, I look like a Pez dispenser pooping out babies. And he'll be like, well, I delivered babies from a Pez dispenser.
Yeah, let me tell you how it was.
In the Congo, you're like, you've never been to the Congo. Right. Shut up. To me, these people are hugely, hugely insecure with a very, very poor self-image. So they have to try to, hey, look how much I know. They're begging for, hey, wow, you're brilliant.
Well, they're begging for the validation in some respects, right?
In some way, yeah.
And there's no doubt about it. They're being insecure, wanting to trying to one up people, right? I mean, some people just want to one up you and say that's that's how I feel, and that's the way it is, right, wrong, or indifferent. And a lot of times, computer is kicking at. While you're looking at that, I'll read Shayna. Shayna said, once I catch the clue that I'm not in the convo, I switch to internal analyzing. You switch to internal analyzing. So if you're just listening to someone's conversation.
No, that's where, I do a lot of the same thing. Is I just get quiet and watch the tower of cards crumble upon itself when they don't think, they're like, no, the house of cards didn't fall. I wanted to have a pile of cards.
They just adapt to it. Yeah, I get it.
Lisa says, you probably don't give a crap about the narrative, but some people who feel their value is unseen in the world need to prove. So you take away the conflict voice against them and they only hear themselves. I'm diagnosing you. Yeah,
that's the quiet, silent type. They're just in there absorbing it all, waiting for that last time to really.
I created and founded DDOE because I always had to have the last word.
Right. Well, I know for me, like I said earlier, it's part of my communication style, but it's also the fear of being misunderstood, because, like I said, my word choice, as you guys know, if you listen long enough, you know that not everything that comes out of my mouth is exactly how I want it or to come across. And so for beer,
That's what she said.
that's right.
Sorry.
Wait, you got to hit the button now.
Where's the rim shot?
The rim shot.
There it is.
That's what she said. Where's the rim?
That one.
That's even better.
There you go. That's the scary.
Right? I mean, yeah.
First time driving. I love it though. Maybe you were right with the scary.
Yeah, it's a little scary that Scott's actually making some sense over here, right? But no, for me, I mean, with me, I think a lot of times it's fear of being misunderstood. I mean, in some respects, feeling important does play into it, depending on the subject we're talking about. But it's not meant to be a dominant, I'm better than you. But like if it's something that I really know and I don't think in my head that you're maybe understanding my point, I'll continue to go on.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not really intentional. But for me, if I'm going to spend my time talking to somebody or going on a subject, I really want to make sure I'm getting immersed in understanding completely.
And I want to give some love out to Lisa and Shayna. Thanks for feeling so comfortable here to carry on a side conversation amongst yourselves. You're beautiful.
Yeah, right. They live in Island. Well, let's call her out on that.
Lisa says, trust me, Shayna, my problem socially is I'm always in my mind trying to figure out what happened in life to make them feel how they do. It's my nature. Exactly, Lisa.
Because you care.
Well, so I'm the youngest of 4 boys, right? And so there was a need for me as the youngest to try to always prove myself, right? To try to hang with my brothers. I'm little, I'm young, but you guys are cool to me. And, here we go. And Lisa and Shayna, maybe y'all should come in and do this in the morning. We'll probably get more viewers and listeners if it wasn't Scott and I. Right?
I don't know.
Yeah. So there's inevitably a piece that I think there's a little bit of that in all of us for that validation, but I'm the same way. I get when it's somebody in my daily life, I just get quiet and I do the same thing. I'm like, what happened? What did we get a cookie when we were young? Was it the way you were brought up? Was it that your dad didn't love you? Was it that your mom didn't? I mean, I'm sitting here and I do that, right? Lisa says, I don't always care, Scott. Sometimes I just like to figure out what makes an asshole an asshole.
Well, asshole. I get that. It's asshole. I mean, it's different. It's different in a lot of people. I mean, obviously you need to have the full picture and, know the person and where they came from as to why their style is that way. I mean, could be, narcissistic. It could be like ego, protection of ego. A lot of times people will assert themselves and have to get the last word staying, I'm, beat your chest. Like, no, you don't know. I know. Right. And let me prove it to you by just continuing to badger you and not let the subject.
Cappuccino, good morning. Shoot straight out there. Did you know the white-faced capuchin monkey is one of the most dangerous animals in the world? Dave's Hot Chicken.
Is that an inside joke I'm taking?
Well, there's a place in Crystal Lake called Dave's Hot Chicken. They don't have any kind of slogan. It's just Dave's Hot Chicken.
Dave's Hot Chicken.
It's not like our chicken's so hot.
Right.
Right. So shout out to Dave. Dave, if you want to
send us a check.
Send us a check, please do.
Help keep us rolling forward. Keep us rolling forward.
I don't even know who Dave is.
I've never been there, but
asshole is not a style, Lisa says. It's an anger for feeling not appreciated at some point in most cases.
Good morning, Vietnam. Hey, you just woke me right out. It's you really.
But it's that Cliff, and when you're old, you're going to get this. It's that Cliff Clavin approach of people, right? Yeah, let me tell you something, Nami, right? From Cheers. Right. Always knows, even though what comes out of their mouth, but they say it with so much conviction that you're like, no, that's just full of crap.
Well, they a lot of times they believe
so much conviction that they believe it, and they want you to believe that they know what they're talking about. And you're like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that gets a little frustrating when I mean, I don't mind people, reiterating or necessarily getting the last word of what they're saying is pertinent to the conversation, and actually has some value or meaning, not just trying to overstep you or overpower you, because last word also is can be a power struggle over somebody, even if your comment is just completely off put, right?
Yeah.
Or just like, okay, you have, no matter what it might be, just at the end, you have to be that last person to speak. Power of importance, competitiveness. I mean, there's so many different reasons that they do it, and obviously different person, different conversation, trying to understand, what it is. If you even care, Lisa, like Lisa said, she's trying to figure out, what makes them an asshole or what have you.
I don't get it. Maybe I'm at the point in my life, where I say, what are they looking? Are they looking for my input, or are they not looking for my input? And do I want, I know stuff about this, but are they looking right?
Right. Are they looking for you to solve a problem, or just to answer, or just listen to them?
Well, then just in conversation, right? You've got a lot of worldly experience. I mean, a lot of our listeners, Kelsey doesn't. She's 3 years old. I mean, right?
And producing the show for us. Thank you.
Right.
Doing a wonderful job.
Experienced toddler.
Right. So when it's like that, you just kind of gotta go, well, all right. You're not looking for me to add value to this conversation, right? And by me telling, how do I? Okay, so let's say the gymnasium, right? The weightlifting gym, right? And here's what I'm talking about is you're there weightlifting, and you are you've been instructed by the pro.
Right, he tells you what to do or how to do it.
Or here's an even better one. If you've ever golfed, right? You're golfing with a group of people, and one guy took lessons 17 years ago. So
he's a resident pro.
So now, hey, maybe if you grip it this way, there was a couple times where I used to grip this way, and and you're like, I didn't ask for a fucking coach. I'm out here golfing. People, and when you golf, people are always like, hey, slow down your backswing, do this, do that. And I'm just like, no, I'm not good enough. I know a lot about golf. I mean, I watch golf. I play golf. I know a lot about golf. But I'm not going to give you pointers, right? Because I'm not a pro. You want right? And I think there's so many last word know-it-alls that think they're a professional in that area, and then that's what bothers me, right? They're all like, no, I was for a short time I worked at Planet Fitness. I was a fitness coach. Right. No, you walked around with a squirt bottle cleaning off the bike seat after somebody's sweaty crotch was on it. That's what you did, right? But you're all of a sudden, because you worked there.
There's a mental image
for 3 weeks. You worked there for 3 weeks. Now you're, hey, let me, here's what you want to do, and you want to get these kind of reps in, man. And you're just like, listen, shut your hole, right?
Right.
I mean, those are the irritating people that there's a lot in my life, right? That I have worked very close with for a very long time. And you're just like, they're also, Shayna, you will appreciate this. And so, Elisa, they're also the same person that walks into your cubicle or your office and never leave.
They're lonely.
Right. But they're, and then you're doing everything you can, like, okay, I gotta answer. You're trying to get out of it. They just stay there, right? It's those people that just completely irritate the living bejeekers out of me.
Yeah, I can't relate to that one because I don't, obviously work for myself for many years, but I hear what you're saying, especially like the golf guy. That's just an unsolicited, tip, if you will, right? You would do this, you should do that, and it's like, yeah, I don't need that. But if you're talking about something and that guy keeps just telling you, like, having to have the last word, saying, no, you got to do it this way. You got to do it this way. That, for me, whatever.
Well,
But,
that's
but the
bring
unsolicited
Don in
tip.
there. Don from Grapevine. Just click on him, add him to stage.
Hey,
There
good
he
morning,
is.
Don.
Good morning, Don.
I just wanted to join and tell you guys how to run a radio show this morning.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Do you have any expertise in that, sir?
Absolutely none. Absolutely none.
Well, then you probably
All I
know
know
more
is
than us.
Listen, I know the plane's going down over an open field, but you don't got to tell us to put down the landing gear.
Well,
One
it
of
might
the
be
things-
better if
one
you
of the
don't put
things
down the
that-
landing gear, right?
One
You
of the things I
slide.
took in, one of the things I've already taken in this morning from just a few minutes in is there's a lot of people that aggravate Kent, aren't there?
Yeah, there we are. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get under Kent's skin pretty quickly and pretty easily, but you know what?
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
you know,
nice job.
that's just
Lisa.
what it is. That's just what he is, and that's okay. That's what makes him him. And I mean, he sits
That's
next to
right.
me, you know, so that
No,
just helps out even more.
Listen. It's just.
Amen.
What I can't figure out, and so I have a lot of, if you ever watch The Family Guy, I have a lot of Peter Griffin conversations in my head throughout the day.
What is explain to me what the Peter Griffin conversations
like-
are?
You're sitting there next to the know-it-all, and in my head, I'm like, does this idiot just know how stupid they sound right now? And they're giving it everything. They're getting all behind this 100%, and they're just like, you're an idiot. You just, and here's the best is when a grown ass person starts doing it to Kelsey, you're how old?
I am 21.
21. So it's like
Yes.
me going to Kelsey and always getting the last word or the one up on a 21-year-old.
Right.
And you're just like, no. Listen, honey, this is how this works.
Right.
Yeah.
I would literally be like, I would just like slow, like, yeah.
That's an easy fuck you without saying fuck you. Right? Like, I just do the head nod.
Yeah,
Right.
and you're just like, it's unsolicited garbage that this person is just throwing out there to try to make themselves feel important.
It's just like really unnecessary. And once it hits the point of like 5 minutes, I've given up.
You stay around that long?
She has more patience. Yeah.
About 30 seconds and I'm checking out.
That's the patience of the
Yeah.
youth.
Yeah, I was going
I'm
to say
like
that's a
5
lot.
minutes, and I'm like, you know what? I'm good here.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, buddy.
Right.
I love it.
For
you
me,
would too.
yeah,
That's-
and for me, depending on the situation, and my mood of the day. I mean, because I do this, right? And I get it, but I may call somebody back out, when they keep doing it, be like, really, where'd you get your information? Where'd you get your facts? Or why would you say that? Just because I can and piss them off and try to get the last word in, you know what I mean? Because I know they're going to continually fight me, and you can see, because I know I do struggle with it from time to time.
Huge.
Yeah, mansplaining, right? That's done. Show's over.
Everybody's
Mansplaining.
favorite.
Mansplaining. That's it. What else do we say, right?
Shane, the golf instructor, same guy who always knows where you could have bought it way cheaper. And, you might have even talked with that person. And then you get it like, hell, I got a good deal on this.
What's a good deal?
Buddy over in Libertyville would have got it way a lot cheaper. Where
were you when I was thinking about it?
Yeah. Jerk.
He might not have known, though.
They don't know.
They don't know.
They don't got a guy. They ain't got a guy.
Right.
It's just, and that's why I just get so irritated. I want to do them a throat punch just so they stop talking. I mean, just a quick little 3-finger right in there. And
Well, I mean, if you ever because when I do this, my family, it's actually worse for me with my family, right? Because I want to just make sure they're understanding and
you're
hearing
the
me.
Papa Bear.
Right. I'm the Papa Bear, right? Listen to me, learn from me, and don't listen to anything else.
Listen, Caroline, I know you're a single mother. Let me tell you how to do this.
Yeah, no, I know.
No, he doesn't do that. I'm poking him in the sack.
Right. I mean, I wish I'm glad I don't know, but it's things like that you'd like to help out and you don't know. But for me, like I say, when they let me know and I do it, I mean, when somebody's doing it to me, depending on the person, I may push, like you, as you say, poke the bear, right? Like, why, and just keep them going on.
Always carry
I mean, how do you, when you're in that situation, other than, kind of ignoring them, do you shut them down?
That's why I bring this up is, I don't have 6 steps on how to make an asshole know that they're an asshole. Right. I mean, that'd be a good book. Chicken
It's a good title, at least.
Chicken soup for the asshole.
I mean, to me, the way that I've handled it over this past year is I'm just quiet and giggle inside, like, oh God, here we go. This person was related to the Wrights who built the first airplane. So even though they don't have a driver's license, they'll tell me exactly.
Yeah. Or they can't fly a plane, but yeah, they'll tell you because they related to them. Yeah. They learned through osmosis.
I also think that the know-it-all and the last word guy is never me, right? And what I mean by that is if look, it's Drew Cappuccino, everybody.
Hey,
thanks for getting
what
dressed.
up?
Yeah, thanks for getting dressed.
I'm not wearing any pants.
Can you put a little powder on that forehead? It's shining back pretty high over here.
That's mansplaining.
There you go. Perfect. That's mansplaining.
That's mansplaining.
Perfect. I love it.
So I'm the guy, and a way that I deal this a lot is I'm the guy who says this. I don't know enough about that. I'm not gonna, let me look into it if you want my answer, but I can't have a good conversation with you about this because I don't know enough about it. Right. And that usually shuts them up real quick. I was, we'll go back to the guy who's, wiping off sweaty bicycle seats at the gym and is now an athletic trainer, and you say that, this is what I said. Well, I don't know enough about it. So I can't have a good conversation.
Do I resemble that remark? I mean,
you're the sweaty seat wiper.
I signed up for that job. Yeah. That way, let me tell you, I know everything about everything now.
Yeah.
That's because you're Italian. I don't think people understand that.
It's the same way as the people who are like, hey, listen, I'm important. Listen to me. You're not important. If you got to say you're important, you're not important.
Right? Well, I'm kind of a big deal,
I'm kind of a big
deal. Let me tell you what's going on.
I got the it factor.
Right.
Everybody's got a Ken Kringle. So
allegedly.
I'm sorry. Was that a name drop?
Yeah.
I think you can see it a mile away too, right? So like when you have a conversation with somebody and all of a sudden they start talking and you see that repetitive.
Yeah. They talk right over you like this.
Right. Right.
Don't know anybody like that. Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Mute their mics, but yeah.
That's not nice to say about Scott.
Whoa, he's talking about himself there, Cappuccino. Come on now.
I get it all the time. I run into people that they want to tell me how awesome they are, or how tough they are. True tough guy never talks about how tough they are. A true wizard never reveals the magic. They just do. You're either a talker or you're a doer.
Yeah.
And people who talk don't do. That's just pretty much the best way to sum it up.
Well, that's not a very nice thing to say to two guys that are hosting a talk show.
I would, but I would disagree with that overall statement, Drew, right? That just because someone talks about it doesn't mean they're not doers. It depends on at what level and what you're talking about.
Oh, here we go. Perfect example.
Well, just talking about what you're doing and going on. And because like for me, I will talk about certain things like when we do on the show, this is what I'm going to do. And this is why I'm going to do it, because I'm looking for somebody to question me or to, push back on me and say, well, no, I look at it this way, or what, have you tried it this way? Or, because I'm looking for input from other people's lives. Right. Because
you and Deidre have a safe word, don't you?
Yeah. But I get what you're saying as far as talkers aren't doers, but doers are also talkers. They're talking about what they're doing, but they're looking for input to try for me to meld together things and figure out what's going to work best for me. And maybe that person I'm talking to does know better than me on that one. I can learn from them. But if I didn't say anything to them,
lemon drop,
I wouldn't know.
Leah.
Oh, I have no idea, but I wouldn't know. But your statement as a whole could be definitely, the people that just talk and never do anything. Because I do run into those people.
The most dangerous know-it-all last word guy is the one who's got a little bit of experience, right? It is Well, I built a shed that I got a kit from Menards. Another shout out, Menards. You can send a check to 216 Beers.
So let me reiterate so Scott is understanding what I'm talking about here. The guy who has to constantly regurgitate the same thing over and over again to you to show you how important he is as a talker. That's what I'm considering a talker. Maybe I shouldn't generalize so much on the word talker, but that is the person that wants you convinced that he is the almighty in whatever he's talking about. Okay, you could see it a mile away, and
Right.
9 times out of 10, if you can't, it's probably you. So one of those things about owning a mirror is important to find and find your flaw. But most of those people in a narcissistic space, they don't do that because they're perfect. They don't need that mirror. They see their reflection in their own head all the time, right? So that's what I meant, Scott, about talkers and doers.
Yeah,
Shane, I'm kind of with you, Drew. Oh, go ahead, preach, Shane.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Shana has, I have 10 times the curiosity as most. And once big talkers know this, they avoid me. I like to know how and why of things. Lie once with the intent to sway my opinion, and it's over. Guru-itis. Absolutely.
Guru-itis.
I like that word. That's a new word, huh? The
You were saying,
guru-itis.
Don.
Well, I was just saying a couple points. One, I kind of with Drew, I appreciate his comments about somebody that continues to do it. But I think that the whole idea of the mirror, we tend to be aggravated people that are like us sometimes. So that's something for all of us as human beings to think about sometimes, because maybe we are seeing ourselves in others. Maybe not, but maybe we're seeing ourselves. But I've always found the best way to, I think, Deke, you asked earlier about Scott, maybe how do we get out of this is, for me, the easiest way is just to go, man, that's a great point. End of discussion. Boom, you're done.
You're like,
And what are they going to say after that?
No further questions, Your Honor.
No further questions. Case closed. Hey, man, you nailed it, brother. There's nothing more that needs to be said. Thank you. And what are they going to? I mean, some will keep talking. But
Well, I was going to say, in some respects, some of the really bad ones will continue to go because they're not sure the point got across, right?
Yeah. I'm not laughing. I'm laughing at the situation that you and I talked about, the person that I'm speaking of.
Right. Right.
And I just giggle. I mean, it's amazing to me, right? I coach women sports, right? And it's amazing to me how many men coach can tell you know what I'm saying? I don't tread down. In basketball, I teach basketball, right? And mentality. Okay. But I've seen a lot of men coaches try to tell women how to live life and choice. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Well, you're coaching the sport, not the gender, right?
Kent, you should not be talking about me when I'm not here. It's the ones with just a little bit of experience, right? That then I cured cancer. I read a book.
I was going to say they read a book on it. Yeah.
Like last night, the State of the Union address. I thought I heard that the COVID vaccines now cure cancer. I didn't.
You probably did. They need to sell more.
So it's
Wait,
like, oh,
cures cancer or causes cancer? I think you've heard the wrong word.
No.
Allegedly.
Kent, I saw that. Kent, I saw that, man, when my youngest played volleyball. It's a long time ago now. That was probably the most aggravating thing to me was parents who thought they were volleyball coaches. It's like, I remember one year before the close season, I said to a bunch of parents sitting around at one of the first games, this year, can we let refs be refs, coaches be coaches, and fans be fans? But it didn't. That didn't.
That worked for you. That was my last year coaching.
That was my.
Yeah, it's just, I tell you, it's amazing how, and I will say it was mostly dads, but there were some moms too that, oh my goodness, I couldn't sit by them watching a match because it was like, I just want to watch the match and enjoy it. So but they had to be coaches and critics of every player on the team, especially their own kid, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Lisa says, and let me use this in my best Lisa's voice. Of course, Lisa, the host of Living Outside the Box, is that's why I say my dumb vajayjay is listening too.
You can't do that. Come on, put it out the right voice.
I'm sorry.
Wow, is Lisa there? I sounded just like her.
Wow.
Wow.
No, that's why I say my dumb vajayjay is listening to you when a man mansplains at me like I am dumb, and they wouldn't say it to a man. It's so true.
But you know what? It's a good thing that women never do that to men, right? It's a good thing.
I know, right?
They
The
don't.
damn word is mansplaining. I get that all the
There
time.
is no woman-splaining, is there?
But when they say
No,
mansplaining,
no.
to me, that mansplaining just means we're right, right?
Listen, no,
I tell
listen.
everybody, I don't need Google. I'm married.
That was Scott that said that.
I've said it.
Send your emails to Scott at 216.
I've said it often on air. I'll say it again. Since my daughters were little, I have told them, I'm like, listen, every man is an idiot. You just have to find one you can put up with. That's it, right? We're all idiots. So I go into conversations with women knowing that I'm an idiot. I don't know.
Just leveling the playing field there a little bit.
And then my wife is like, you don't go into any conversation. You don't listen at all. So
You glaze over quickly.
like, oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, see, Lisa says men truly are clueless. There's a difference. That's true. But most of the know-it-alls that I know are men, right? I mean, women.
They're clueless about it.
I think women are cool. They're like, you guys are idiots. Go ahead.
Maybe are they,
Go ahead. Think you have a low swinging penis.
let's go a little bit deeper.
It's cold outside.
If you say they're men, are they maybe married men? Can you divide it into that? The married men don't feel like they're being heard, so they have to continue to remansplain everything.
So if you're a woman identifying as a man, does that make you clueless?
What?
I'm not going there.
Can I start a fire?
I don't have enough information on that right now.
Yeah, I do not have enough information on that
conversation.
I'm just reading the questions that Deke gave me.
You need to jump on and ask these questions.
That sounded a little bit.
Radio was done.
Yeah.
That sounded a little bit like does this dress make me look fat? Yeah, that sounded a little like
no,
that.
it's your face. That's what Tommy Boy. Remember, does this tie make me look fat? No,
Yeah.
It's your face. Tommy Boy, one of the greats of all time. Men are insecure about knowledge and power. Women are insecure about body and appearance. In general, that's why more men are know-it-alls.
Interesting.
And again, Lisa, hopefully by the end of this show, you'll know that no is N-O-W, not N-O.
Right.
That's because
mansplaining.
That's because earlier.
Mansplaining things.
Spell
Put
check.
yourself in a hole.
Yeah. My husband has two smiles. Shayna says of tolerance. If a woman's splain, man's a saint.
That's just a smile and nod your head type of thing, right, Shayna? Yes, dear. Yes, dear. Did you hear a word I said?
Lisa
yes, dear.
Lisa says my phone fixes it. I know. And while you're driving, we appreciate you texting it.
Right.
We're
It was fun having Lisa working at the station.
I'm 90 right now, going 75 miles an hour, avoiding potholes, steering with her knee.
Right.
Right. With the two dogs' noses out the back windows. To me, I'm just it's just a frustrating thing. And before we go any farther, again, I want to talk about Natural Therapy Wellness Center. Great sponsors of the station. If you need a massage, they're always voted in as best of the Fox, an entire staff of licensed massage therapists.
Yeah, they're amazing.
815-385-8190 or McHenryMassage.com. Our good friends at JH Events and Flowers, John over there, they got two shops now, one in Fox Lake, one here in man cave stuff. They've got it all. I mean, it's woman cave, she shed stuff. I mean, it is. They are awesome. Great prices. $5 Friday. You want some fresh flowers? Stop in.
And get your wife some flowers.
Tell me
Start the
her
weekend
John
off on a good
216.
note, right?
Yeah.
Make
And then
her feel special.
a huge shout out to my guy Thomas Gottfried over at Thomas Guard, the owner at Thomas Guard LLC, jumping in and taking care of some IT stuff here at the station. Because, well, when you run an internet radio station and you need computer power and your computer's acting weird, he's got us figured out, and I absolutely love him for that. If you need IT work or protection on a monthly basis, check him out at Thomas Guard LLC.
Yeah, thanks much. Last week was no fun. Tech issues suck.
And of course, behind the mic and off the camera is our good friend Kelsey. Kelsey is she's producing today. Kelsey, give him a shout out about your show.
All right. Hello, everybody. Sorry, it's early. I am the host of Big Body, Bigger Mouth, which is a radio show with 216 Creator Studios. New episodes come out every other Monday at 5 p.m. And I absolutely love what I'm doing and super excited to be here.
She is brilliant. When we did a little work over at MCC for Bobby Bainey's class, and today at noon, of course, you're going to want to tune into Bobby's show, Digital Boss Boardroom. She's got some badass guests on there. It is a great show. Lisa says, I'll be in the actual studio Sunday if anyone would like to come in.
What time is that, Lisa?
Join me. She is on at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Sunday.
Hey, don't forget to set your clocks forward. This, speaking of a know-it-all, the Native Americans once said about the white man is the only person who can cut the top 1 foot off of a blanket, sew it at the bottom, and think that it's longer. There you go.
Where did you get that piece of wisdom?
That's it. That's a Native American saying.
That's a Native
because of this time change. We're like, let's take the time here and we'll fall backwards.
Oh, gotcha.
Now I know what it feels like to be Don on this side of the camera. Sorry, Don.
It's a little safer from a distance, isn't it?
It is.
Well, you don't get Eddie on yet, that's for sure.
Way more fun have the energy in the studio.
Yeah. Next week here on the grounds, we're going to have a guest. We're hoping to get the Purpose Hunter, Matthew Barafato, in here. Cool. Matt also doing on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 7 a.m. is the Purpose Hunter show on the radio side of things, over on the 216 the net side of things. So you can always tune in and hear good stuff. Great show. So
I'll give him a shout out. I'm a big fan of his. He's a great guy. So would be. I'm actually going to be in Chicago next Friday morning, but I won't be available. I was hoping to maybe sneak into the studio too, but
that would have been awesome.
Real quick in and out, but if something changes, I'll let you know. Maybe I'll drop in the studio.
Hey, we'd love to see you.
Absolutely.
Any male can see something longer than it actually is and argue it.
Spoken from Lisa, that is, by the way.
Yeah, don't go there, kid. Just leave that one away. Just let that one go.
Yeah.
The old Dickie do.
That's a good one.
Cold out, Frank? Never mind.
KFC still open?
Yeah.
What'd he say?
We're streaking the squad.
Oh,
KFC still open?
That's right.
Oh, geez.
All right. So we're talking about the proverbial know-it-all, the proverbial person. I say it's a guy because I found that it's mainly men that are the know-it-all, last word getters, right? And it doesn't, and it's even this. It's even this. And this is the hardest text. This is the hardest text, right? So, does somebody always, you're like, hey, Drew, can you run and get milk on your way to the studio for coffee? And you're like, sure. And then they're like, okay, great, thanks. I really appreciate it. And then you're like, okay, no problem. And then they come back with something else on text, right? Even those people have to be the last trumper on the text. And if not, then they just, and this is what's irritating. I know you Apple people absolutely love this, but it's like, Scott loved your last comment.
Right.
Oh,
or
yeah,
like an
yeah.
image.
Liked an image.
And you're just like, I don't, that's that last word getter, right? And the people that I'm thinking about always is that. It can't just let it end. Even on text, it's always, I gotta like it or thumbs up or a heart or whatever. And I'm just like, and then I get alerted like, oh gosh,
Quit bugging me.
Jesus, just end it already.
I think it's appropriate. There should be one, confirmation of the thing, and you don't need to confirm the confirmation text. Is that I think you're talking about people. Hey, can you pick up the milk? Yeah, okay, just to respond with a thumbs up, done. But then that next person keeps going. So
I don't respond with a thumbs up. I just found out last week that thumbs up and saying K on a text is actually rude as hell. If you just respond to somebody K,
did you know this? Have you just say K?
Thumbs up is bad now.
If you say,
I think I've known this for a while, because K just kind of I think it connotates to K.
like fuck you.
Yeah.
That blew me away when they
I'm
told me. I'm
done
like, no wonder I have no friends anymore.
Yeah.
I K'd everyone to death.
Lisa, you would be last.
Another big fuck you in text is this happened to me one time. I sent this long message to this guy being like, you're ridiculous, blah, 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 whatever. He sent me, do you guys know what Game Pigeon is?
No.
Not a
So
clue.
on Apple, you can send little games, and he literally just sent me 8-ball. And just didn't say anything else. So that's
Weird.
another big fuck you.
Yeah, that's weird.
Over
I'm
text.
lost.
Yeah, no.
Kelsey, could you help me? What's the thumbs
cool.
up? What's the problem with thumbs up these days? Because I've never heard that.
I think thumbs up is you're just okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, it's right. Hey,
Yeah,
thanks, man.
good
Fuck
job.
you. Yeah. Good job.
Yeah.
Thanks for your input.
Lisa,
Yeah.
of course, being bilingual, she knows sign language. Is thumbs up and FU is in sign language.
Right.
Right.
Which, I mean, literally, when they told me, I thought,
I do that to all the deaf people.
yeah.
I think I'm just going to stop responding to text, man. I tell you, it's
No,
not safe anymore.
Don, I think the new response and the go-to is the eggplant. You gotta send the eggplant out.
Yeah, the eggplant, right?
Yeah.
Right,
That's
yeah.
the answer for everything.
A lot of
Yeah, that sounds so
vegetarians
much
out there.
better. Yeah.
I need now when I heard that, it made me think. I'm like, oh my god, I really got to start to do a little bit of research on this. What else am I saying to people with my responses? If just saying K is saying fuck you and thumbs up, same type of thing. I'm like, oh my god, I got to start looking at what I'm putting out there.
Shayna says, I used to think scrolling past stupid or biting my tongue around loud people offering opinion as fact. We need to stop being passive with the idea. Lost my orange. I don't. LMO. I hope you find your orange.
That's lost my opinion.
Oh, that was an I. It's not an L.
In my opinion, yeah.
IMO.
Yeah.
Oh,
I always had an
that
H,
always stands
in
for
my humble
offended.
opinion, but that's probably
stands
wrong
for
too.
offended.
She's offended, I guess.
Yeah.
People unchecked in that mode are dangerous. Yeah, so true. So true. And so people ask me, my wife's like, you really want to watch? I love watching the State of the Union addresses.
Love.
Okay.
Sick man.
I absolutely because now with AI, with the voice technology, things like that, I wanted to watch on a channel that I felt comfortable with to see, because there's a lot of things, a lot of sound bites, a lot of things going to come out, right? And so I watch and I sit there and I go, this is what's wrong with America. this chamber is what's wrong with America. But I watch because I always find it interesting and how far we've fallen, but that room, there's a lot of know-it-alls, is what I'm getting at. But I want to make sure to kind of what Shane is saying is, I want to be able to check people as well. But then you're like, okay, am I supposed to put this on? Should I put it on social media? Should I not? Should I just reach out? And a lot of times when you reach out on a message, a DM, they don't get back with you too quick, so. Lisa says a man came up with the eggplant being a wanker. No female would have put the two together. Well, and if it's shaped like that, you're really you should see a doctor.
If it's purple and it's shaped like that.
I'm not a doctor, but you might. I mean, if it's purple like that and it's shaped like that, you might want to see a doctor.
Yeah, there's something happening there. Yeah,
That's some bad. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just.
I'm glad I found out though that happened the other day. You know what I mean? Because it's just crazy the simplicity of. I thought I was just being quick and to the point, right? And now I'm offending people again. It's like I might as well just stop talking, right? I mean,
See, but I never took it as a big fu. But I'm like,
neither did I.
but I'm like, I wonder. I'd be like, I wonder why Drew was so busy he couldn't put an O in front of it. It's literally one.
Well, he's driving, so it's easier to look for one letter than two.
You know what I mean? And I always thought, but then again, I hear Lucy. Lucy's going to be 15 this summer. K.
Yeah, saying fuck you, Dad. Fuck you.
Right?
Thanks.
Like, oh, yeah, okay. So, but I always wonder. I'm like, why is it so hard to just put an O in front of it? You're that lazy? Now I know. They're telling me to fuck off. It's great.
Well, I tell you what, if somebody's offended by me sending them a thumbs up sign, I'm like, sorry, get over yourself would be my response.
Yeah.
Right?
My
It's just
answer to
ridiculous.
all of that is nobody's ever
Ridiculous.
died from being offended.
A lot of people have, Drew.
Like who?
That you know of, allegedly.
Mr. Know-it-all.
That's right. Actually, 17% of all suicides are people with hurt feelings.
Statistics don't lie, but liars use statistics.
Thank God I signed on today.
If you don't let people know what you stand against, it gives momentum to bad ideas. Self-censorship is contagious. It is.
I agree with that one. I heard Shane or Seth Dillon from the Babylon Bee say that there are some things in our society that deserve mockery so they don't take hold. I was like,
That's a good one.
Well, yeah.
To me, I think that the best way to probably deal with somebody is as hard as it is, right? You have to just kind of call them out. You got to call bullshit. You got to call them. You're like, listen, Drew, listen, you weren't in the Vietnam War, bro.
Damn it.
Man, when I was with, the funny thing was I was just off camera when Forrest Gump was running out of the.
You don't even know. Because I said the word Nam. I wasn't talking about Vietnam.
it was in Nam, Virginia. Beautiful town. Yeah.
To me, and then I just let them bury themselves, right? I mean, I will call bullshit on people, but I'll also let them bury themselves because I'm like, you do understand how stupid you sound, and nobody in the room even believes in 1 ounce of what you're saying, right? It's crazy. What does she say there? I thought be and let be, and things would self-regulate. I was wrong. Yeah, that's true.
I'm into that, no doubt.
It's gotten us into a crazy place for sure. So
Things are just overanalyzed. To me, things are just overanalyzed, and people are putting just. I mean, it's just why would you even think about just doing, going back to the K thing? Why would that even be an issue? You know what I mean? I think it's time, place, and conversation for that. But as a general rule, they're saying that's the way it is. And for me, it's like, damn.
Well, I think our generation, we lived it was a different world, man, altogether, right?
Yeah.
Your mama jokes were like the highlight of the day. Nobody got offended. As a matter of fact,
Lord.
if you weren't picked on by your buddy, you would think something's wrong.
Right.
And that's just the world that we come from, or I should say that's the world I come from. I can't speak for everybody. But at the same time, it's like, how much homework do we have to do in our generation just to make sure we don't offend everybody? I'm not a firm believer in that. I'm like, if you get offended, you get offended, I guess. Because how much more work do I need to do because everybody else is thinking differently now?
Right.
What are your thoughts on that, Ken?
I don't know. I didn't hear a thing.
I don't
you were
have
saying.
enough
I
information.
think of a bunch of mama jokes.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing. Well,
I was
I
like, your
think
mama's so dumb she tripped over the cordless
You were
phone.
thinking of mama jokes this entire time.
Right.
Yeah, he was the whole time he's sitting there saying,
Getting your mama
yeah,
joke.
That's
your
it.
mama's so,
I was like,
Such a good
your
friend.
mama's so fat.
I
Your
have
mama's
such
so
a good
fat she
friend.
broke her leg and gravy came out.
that's
That was the one. I remember that from White Men Can't Jump. Yeah.
yeah.
But I think, Drew, to what your point about this, about people being offended, one of the things, that's what I said about the thumbs up. I mean, again, if you really want to make their head explode, go, I'm offended by you being offended by a thumbs up.
Right.
Right. Doesn't make sense. I tell people when that happens, I'm like, look, if I mean to offend you, you'll know it because I'm going to tell you, right? I'm not going to, I don't skirt around the issue. If I got something to say to you, I'm generally going to say exactly how I feel. Right. I'm not going to skirt around the issue for one reason, I just tell you how I feel. I don't skirt around it or anything like that because, I don't mean to offend people with thumbs up or okay.
I don't think our goal is to go out there and just try to offend people.
Right.
It's just, this is what we're used to. And
right. But for me, not knowing.
The world changes.
Yeah.
And so everything that you do is wrong. Right.
Well, here's what I'll say. There was a time in life where I don't give a shit. Right. We called retarded people retarded. Right.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Back when we were growing up, that was acceptable.
And it wasn't to offend them.
Right.
Thenet.com.
Right. We called gay people gay, and that was okay. Right.
Well, that was the terms back then, right? That was an acceptable term back then. Now it's not, but how do you know unless someone tells you it's unacceptable?
So I still run under that, guys. Listen, I've got to be Kent, and if I'm not worried if you're offended or you're not. Right. I genuinely love everybody and hate them equally. Right. People are stupid and I hate them. But thank you for joining us this morning on the ground.
Yeah, I was going to say,
we need bigger numbers.
You need people.
And if you want to be a sponsor of this great show.
Right.
Yes. The idea would be for me is I don't care if I offend people. I just don't. Right. My life is too short. Right. Drew, you've said it many times. Our time on this little blueberry is very, very short. Right. So why worry about any of that? Right. So to me, I'm about, it's intent. Right. If I'm looking to hurt your feelings and I want you to be offended, you're going to be offended.
Well, and that's what I was saying. Right? Yeah, it's intent. If I want to piss you off and offend you, I'm going to tell you straight up. I'm not going to beat around the bush. It makes no sense. Right. You love me or hate me. This is me.
Yeah.
Right. And if I'm sorry if I did something that offended you, but for me on the same thing is if I did something, and it offended you, I'd like to know so I don't do it again because it's not, like I said, it's not intentional. If I really want to offend you, trust me, I got plenty of words that I could use, right? And I'm not afraid to do that because if you're in my life and I'm giving you part of my life, you know what I mean? I don't want my time wasted in people with bullshit that play games, right? Like you are who you are. I am who I am. I tell you how I feel. You love me or hate me, right? Don't judge me because I give you the thumbs up.
I see and hear offensive things every day, but I just choose not to be offended by it. There's a ton of
it's your reaction.
America.
Yeah, and it's like it's going. I can't imagine going through life, every day, 14 times a day, you're offended and angry and want to get back at somebody because they sent you the thumbs up or the K. I mean, it's like, man, what a wonderful existence that sounds like.
Well, I love the high five sign that everybody thinks is praying hands.
Yeah.
Like, sweet, why are they high fiving me?
Trying to have a conversation, you really got to really think about what you're going to say, and it doesn't come out as a genuine. For me, I'm just going to say how I feel. It's a genuine conversation, and if I offend you, I want, if someone offends me, I'll tell them, that was shitty, or why'd you say that? But it seems like today, John's losing it.
Well, I remember we were talking about terms like retarded. There are still some foundations that raise funds for quote unquote retarded children. I don't remember who the comedian was, but there was a comedian once talked about how veterans come back and when they first came back, they had shell shock, and then it's changed to this and this, and now it's PTSD. He says, I bet you those veterans would get a lot more help if we still called it shell shock. And I thought that's a good point. We kind of water these terms down so they feel safe and comfortable, and then all of a sudden they become meaningless. And I thought it was a comedian, but I thought he was making a good point that if we sell the head shell shock, that might get more people's attention to help veterans that are suffering for what we now call PTSD.
Right. Something maybe people could relate to, because PTSD, people are like, what? Oh, shell shock. Oh, that's pretty easy to understand, right? I mean, for the simpletons, I mean, and that's, I like the old KISS adage, right? Keep it simple, stupid. Say what you mean, do what you want,
No.
I mean, I guess I'm one of.
What's the stupid part? Was there a comma after simple?
Keep it simple, stupid.
Right. What's the
Right.
stupid part? I mean,
Well,
was there
just
a
make
comma
it
after
easy.
simple?
No. It's just don't.
Just KIS doesn't work, Deke.
Like everything
KIS
tends to
doesn't
be
work.
overcomplicated. Everyone tends. I feel like a lot, and I got to be careful with the words that I use, the descriptors. But a lot of things in this world have become just overcomplicated. Things that you shouldn't have to think twice about. Now you're having to think about. Just like the whole thing with the K. Why do I give a shit? Why do I need to spend time thinking about if I said K, okay, or thumbs up, right? I told you how I felt, and I'm moving on. Don't bring me back into that because you feel offended over something that clearly was not meant to be offensive, right?
Yeah, you're getting
It's
way
like-
in. That's on week number 8.
That's week number 8?
You're getting way
Okay.
ahead of yourself. So.
All right.
It's like sugar. It's like sugar. Today it's good for you. Tomorrow it'll be bad for you. The next day it'll be good for you. The next day it'll be bad for you.
Hey, but
I
let's
like-
be
I
honest.
like to
Adult
clarify.
onset diabetes is a real thing, and
It is.
Amen.
not offend anybody there, Don.
I like to clarify. I like to clarify communication if I can. When it's a text, sometimes it comes off cold, and if I go back and read my text, I'm like, oh, I can see a perception that can make this look like a real cold text, right?
Right.
And
Yeah, you can't do tone and stuff in a text.
Right. So
That's the big negative.
Does that matter to
Probably
me?
because you're Italian and you end every text with your fucking Goomba. I don't know.
What did you just say to me?
Yeah. That is
You
that
talking
is
to
a huge
me? Are you
problem,
talking to me?
I'm sorry.
That is a huge problem because there is no emotion involved
right.
in a text, right? And that's for me, like I tell people, I prefer a phone call. For one, it's much quicker, right? Like to get a basic conversation out of the way through text, it's 30 texts back and forth.
Yeah.
Instead of a 4-minute conversation on the phone, bing, bang, boom, we're done. You heard my inflection in my voice.
Okay,
You
everybody,
understand where I'm
If
at?
you want to get,
let's
if you
just
want to
take a
get your
straw
point
poll
across,
here.
if you want to get your point across for somebody to understand where you're really coming from, the phone call is the warm and fuzzy for that. The texting is, hey, if I'm texting Kent, be like, see you at the studio in 10. Great. That's communication that way. But if I had to tell him about something that happened, I want to call him so he knows the seriousness to it and how I'm coming off to it so he can form an opinion.
Listen, I want to make sure that and let's do a straw poll here on the grounds. Anybody who knows Scott, please chime in if you've only had a 3-minute conversation with Scott.
There's no such thing.
No one's raising their hand. No one's raising their hand. Yeah.
He's like, a phone call's quick, 2-3 minutes.
All
I'm
right,
like,
30 minutes.
This is
30
warm
minutes.
up.
The text
you're
is
not
faster
wrong.
than Scott. Yeah.
No,
Right.
but I mean, he's not wrong in certain respects, but I'm using it as an example, right? Like
Yeah.
for me,
Right.
I need the context through a text I don't get it, right? No matter what. You call me, I can hear the anger, I can hear the frustration, or you can just tell me straight out. I hear the tone. In a text, I have no freaking idea, right? I can guess, but I can assume, but what does that do, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's I prefer the old school talking to
The
people
old
actually
golden Willy
in
Wonka
face.
Your dad says, hey, in South America, the thumbs up's always been an FU. Right?
Well, fucking
just-
South Americans quit
just
pushing your
recent.
influence over here.
That's
Then
it.
I
Thumbs
gotta
up
quit,
means
I gotta
thank
quit
you.
texting South American people.
Our election system.
Yeah.
So
right.
anyway, listen, we're over by a few minutes here, but it's just a great morning, and I can't appreciate y'all more. If you want to get
Wait,
the
can
last
I get the
word
last word
you
in?
better.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me get it in here.
But listen, great stuff coming up today. We've got innovative strategies at 10:30. Bill's going to have some guy on talking about
Something.
Something.
Everett, Mike Everett, Mike, something like that. Mike, somebody is going to be. I'm trying to remember. And then In the Know with Steph and Joe. Here's going to be a good one on In the Know with Steph and Joe. Always a fun Friday afternoon. Is the multi-factor authentication. Is it good? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it good for your business? We all kind of know that, hey, for security reasons, yeah, but blah, 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 blah. Right. So some good stuff coming up today. In the Know with Steph and Joe, brought to you through the financial support of our good friends at Restoration One of Carrie and Steph's Bookkeeping. So
yeah,
good stuff.
That's a great show. Make sure you guys tune in, and we appreciate y'all tuning in for us today at the grounds. We really appreciate all your input. Life is about learning from other people and figuring things out one day at a time.
Yeah.
Here at 216 Creator Studios, we're out there giving people the daily dose of encouragement, helping everyone to be a better person, help people out, be the change you want to be in the world, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, and hopefully we will see you again next Friday.
Have a good weekend, guys.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you get here next week. Don,
I'll let you know
we'd love to see you here.
if anything changes. Yeah, if I'm going to be at an event late Thursday night, and then I got to be somewhere Friday. So I don't know, but if I can make it work, I'll ping you and pop in. May not be the greatest week if you got a guest, but
we're still live, so don't give out your home address.
Yeah, I won't do that. So no, I'll check and see. Yeah, it's probably unlikely, but if something clears up, I'll let you know. I'd love to see you guys. I've looked forward to the opportunity to be out that way, but if not this time, next time.
I hope you can come up because I'd love to, go to lunch or dinner or something.
You guys talk about this not on my radio show.
Sorry, boss man's getting in the last word.
We gotta go.
Well, give him a thumbs up and a